Welcome to the LegalTube podcast, presented by LawyerLocate.ca. Join us as we explore the latest trends, strategies, and tools for promoting your legal practice in the digital age. Hosted by Mark Robbins, CEO of LawyerLocate.ca, LegalTube, and Digital MSpace, where we're all about legal marketing online for Canadian lawyers. Let's dive in.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the LegalTube podcast. I'm Mark Robbins, your host. We delve into all aspects of legal marketing and digital marketing for the Canadian legal market. Today, I'm excited to have as our guest a Toronto estate law lawyer, Jordana. Whoa, Jordana, I just blanked out. Jordana, I tell you what, introduce yourself.
Hi, Mark. You're Mark. I'm Jordana.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm Jordana Talsky, and I'm the founder and principal of C'est La Vie Estate Law here in Toronto. I serve clients across the GTA, also across Ontario, also those who are abroad but need Ontario compliant estate documents. And I've been I've had kind of a varied career history of working in-house, working in private practice, running my own business, and that I do now.
Oh, terrific. So I'm sorry, how long have you been in practice now?
I am going into my 16th year as a lawyer.
Wow, that's impressive. And in a very tough market, Toronto.
Yes, I suppose. Well, there's a lot of people in Toronto. Everyone needs a lawyer for something.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm talking on the other side. There, you're in certainly estate law in the GTA is fairly competitive.
Yes, it is. That's true.
So let me ask you, Jordana, what types of things over the years have you been doing to market your practice?
I think it's fairly organic. I have joined various associations and attend their events to network with other professionals in the industry. I enjoy networking one-on-one. So using centers of influence for the estate planning industry, people like accountants, insurance professionals, financial advisors, and investment agents, other lawyers who may not practice in this field. Those are all centers of influence that can drive business. So I like to network with those people either at events or one-on-one. And as I said, I've been a lawyer for a number of years, so I have a good sort of Rolodex of contacts, but I'm always growing them.
Okay, so I've been around, obviously, legal marketing for over 25 years now. And, I've watched the evolution of how lawyers, and I'm originally a Toronto guy, just recently, 5 years ago, moved out west. So I'm very familiar with your immediate market. And I've watched how it evolved. I mean, I go back as far as when the Law Society of Upper Canada, as it was known then, now the Law Society of Ontario, the only advertising that lawyers were allowed to do in Ontario was Yellow Pages. They could do no commercials, they could do no print ads, nothing. And then about 25 years ago, that changed dramatically. And I remember going through it with the founder of Lawyer Locate, which is our sponsor. And she, so we struggled trying to communicate with lawyers in Ontario saying, hey, no, it's okay to have online exposure and online advertising. And it was a real uphill battle. Now I fast forward to where we are today, and I would say the majority of lawyers across Canada, not just Ontario, have a fairly good understanding of what marketing they can do and what's effective. I do find, though, that a lot of lawyers don't fully understand how online digital marketing works. So I would ask you, I know you have a website, a web presence. We all know, don't care, not just lawyers, but any business that you're in, if you don't have a web presence, you're really not existing. I don't think that's overstating the fact. But in the area of digital, what do you your digital marketing for lawyers?
There's definitely room for growth. So I have a blog that I connect to my website and will blast out to my various social platforms. So I've got a LinkedIn page. I've got a dedicated Instagram page, Facebook page for the business. I also contribute to other blogs on other websites. So there's some exposure there. I've done podcast interviews similar to this on other people's podcast channels or whatnot. But there's definitely room for growth. I found that, I'm sure you can agree, like digital marketing is a job in itself. It's an entire job. And at firms that I've worked at, there is a dedicated person to do that.
Right.
So that's not the situation for me. I do what I can. And cross marketing, I guess, has been beneficial for me. I like that. It kind of um, lessens the load, lessens the front load on my part, and so I enjoy doing cross marketing, which is in part how I'm on Lawyer Locate, because I get the benefits of being on that website and the SEO that it assists with. So that's kind of been sort of the top thing that I do, but there's always room for more. I'm not a big TikToker, and I know some lawyers that are like very into the TikTok and are very successful at doing that. And I think it also depends on the practice, and your target demographic for your clients. But that's certainly something that I could do more of.
Yeah, I was going to circle back because I have for years, actually, it goes back almost 20 years. There's a gentleman in the States, Kevin O'Keefe, who runs a blogging aggregate called LexBlog. He used to and it's very successful. And at that time, blogging was the thing to do, certainly for lawyers, and everybody was blogging. And I can remember he was in Toronto doing a seminar that I attended, and he has a thing that he would do. He called it beer for bloggers after the seminar. So he would find a pub close in downtown, and he'd have invite everybody to go. So I got to meet him, got talking, and over the years we've become pretty good friends. And I debated with him way back then. I said, Kevin, I said, I get your whole thing about blogging, but the future's video. This is 20 years ago, so you have to bear that in mind. And he was like, no way, it's not going to be video. I said, I'm telling you, the future's video. And I said, I look at my clients that blog, and I start to raise the question of who are you blogging for? Because comments to me is where you go to find out who you're blogging for. And if all you're getting is comments from colleagues, where's the benefit? That's not getting you a client saying, "Hey, oh wow, thanks for that information. You're somebody I'd look to help." But say we come forward, and now I guess kind of I was proven right because video is king. YouTube is the number one search engine. Google is no longer. And now the newest change is AI search. And what's come down in the last, say, 6 months with AI search is the whole system of SEO is going out the window. Google acknowledges that their old way of doing it and their algorithms are not working. They can't right now compete with AI results. And AI results is about reputation. AI result is about who knows you. AI result is about video. AI loves video because they can personalize their search result. So with that in mind, and you mentioned it, you don't do TikTok, and I do get that because when we first started, with our company, because we have LawyerLocate.ca, we have LegalTube, we have Digital M Space. Digital M Space is a kind of does SEO, website design development, and then obviously LegalTube helps with production. So in LegalTube, we're guiding lawyers on how to do videos and what type of video content and what's the power of a short versus the power of a long form video. And that is really driving traffic because right now the really exciting thing is shorts. And shorts fall into a generic category of YouTube shorts, Facebook shorts, TikTok. Anything that's 2 minutes or less is getting a lot more traffic than these, 5 to 20 minute videos. So
attention span is
go ahead.
waning.
Yeah, well, we joke about that, and and TikTok with flick, 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 flick. That is the challenge. Is if you can get somebody that stays for your whole video, well, you've captured somebody now that you've got some attention. So, and I look at you, and I know, and we're going to come to another interesting aspect of your career. I would have thought generally that you might be more inclined to start to shift over from the written content to video content.
Yeah, it's well, okay. Part of it is also, I think, the demographic. What kind of clients are you trying to attract? And to be honest, again, like I have a long way to go and to learn, but when there's a source like an investment advisor or an insurance agent or an accountant or a lawyer, it's already kind of pre-vetted that these people are prepared to work with a lawyer and understand what it means to work with a lawyer and want to work with a lawyer. Whereas a lot of on the sources you might draw from your online content might not be those people. That's the frank truth. You might need to cut this as part of your video.
No,
But you know what I mean? And even just having a website and getting phone calls where you have to spend the time to, I guess, I don't know, a nice way to say weed through the non-clients, like the people that just want to call up and ask questions, which you know, no, let's just end there. Okay, now having said that, I agree with you that there is a move, there is a shift, and more people are savvy with technology. And I don't mean to say that older clients are not using the internet. That's not the case anymore. So my point is, like, I've been doing, I like what I'm doing with one-on-one actual people networking and content and having that sort of vet system built in, but I see that I will need to also incorporate other methods, and the move with AI and having video content is something that's inevitable. I have to just bite the bullet and go with it. So that's where I'll look to you for guidance and assistance.
We'll certainly want to help you that way for sure. And it's really not that challenging when we kind of lay it out to our clients that are doing video. If we're managing their video, or we're just giving them kind of lessons on here's how you set up, here how it's not going to be so time consuming, and and how to have a plan. It is pretty straightforward. But yeah, there's no doubt that is the future. I would argue that. And I'm going to name drop because I'm sure you know who I'm going to say, because he's a local, well-known estate lawyer. You know Charles Wagner, or know of him?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. If you ever look at Charles's website, or Wagner Slukowski's website, you'll see that they always still invest in traditional blogs. Charles tends to be highly technical in his blogging, and because we actually do his stuff for him, like as far as putting it up on the website. But he embraced video probably about 8 years ago, and so they do tons of webinars. They do tons of straight up video. Their video content is actually excellent. So, and there's I think Charles probably should have or wanted to retire 5 years ago, but he's still going at it. But there's an older lawyer that's come from the old school of how things are done, and he's embraced what the future is and what the present is right now. So I'm going to shift gears. You have another career that I find absolutely fascinating. So I want you to share with my audience, what is your other career?
I'm a musician. I'm a working musician and performing musician. And I've actually been a musician for longer than a lawyer, really. And I've had those two professional careers running alongside each other the whole time. Yeah, so it is kind of a hat switch for sure.
Now,
and I do have an
how do you
online
balance? How do you
Sorry.
balance your legal practice with performing?
I don't know if balance is the right word. I think because I'm a sole practitioner, I operate my own business, I can put the gas or the brakes on in terms of controlling volume and capacity. That's really how I'm able to do it. Yeah, so like if I've got a month where it's really gig heavy and I know that I'm going to be really busy, then that may influence the number of files I take on, or just sort of planning the scheduling around that. Yeah, that's really it. I don't think balance is the right word. We got to find some other word, because balance is just a lofty lifetime goal that we're always striving for.
So true.
Yeah.
So very true, Jordana. You couldn't have nailed it better.
Juggling? How do you juggle? I think it's more like the spinning plates.
Exactly. So what genre of music that you are performing?
Well, it varies. I trained classically. I trained in opera, actually, and I went to a high school for performing arts, and I studied with people as I continued my education outside of music. Professionally, I started working in the jazz sphere. So you could say jazz, but then I also work with some looping equipment in the electronic sphere, and I do various corporate work in like pops soul singer-songwriter. It really runs the gamut. I try to be, my aim in being a musician is to be as versatile as possible. So I do a few different things.
Well, you got my attention with jazz. That's always near and dear to my heart for sure.
Me too.
So go ahead.
Me too. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
I mean, I'm an old hippie, so classic rock is still my go-to. But I do love, and we're blessed out here in Canmore because we have the Banff Center, like less
Right.
than 20 minutes away from my so, and there's always great musicians and great music, everything, like you say, the whole range out there, and in
Well,
town as well. We have Arts Place, and we get a lot of really good performers that come in here to perform here.
to your point, to your previous question about how do I balance. So yeah, there's a great residency at the Banff Center for musicians to go and create and have that space and time. But the thing is, you need to apply for it and book out the time, I think, a year or more in advance.
Right.
I have never been able to say, oh, I know I'll have that time set aside. So I've actually never done that residency.
Right.
So there's just to go back to the other question, it's always give and take, and it's not always about balance, but just what can I do with the way my life is.
So selfishly, would you ever end up out here at any point?
I spent a good chunk of time living on Vancouver Island, actually during the pandemic. And I was in a work situation that allowed for that. I love the West Coast. I have my nieces now live in BC. And there's been some exports of musicians that made their careers here in Toronto and have since moved back out west. We have a friend in Crow's Nest Pass on the border of BC and Alberta, and
Yeah.
Caslow. Like, there's really people. There's a bit of an exodus. Yeah, never say never. It's beautiful. I really connect with nature, and it's a beautiful place for that. I am licensed to practice law in Ontario, so I'm here for I'm here for a while. But never say
Right.
never.
Yeah,
Never say never.
exactly.
We live in a remote world. Yeah, never say never.
Well, maybe we'll try and see if we can get you hooked up with Arts Place to come out for a weekend or something and perform.
Yes. Yes, that's a yes. That's a
Because they're
yes.
always looking. I know the director, and they're always looking for talent, and
For
it's
sure. I
and
did
they did.
oh sorry.
Go ahead. No, go
I
ahead.
did. I have done a cross Canada tour. I've toured a little bit.
Oh,
Yes, I've toured a little bit. I've done some of the jazz festivals, like where was I? Winnipeg Jazz, Regina Jazz, and then we made our way out west. Where was I playing in Alberta? I have to think about it. I played in Calgary a bunch of times. But anyway, so I love touring when I can, and
right.
doing it in Canada, you can budget the time, and so I'd love that. I would love that. Hook me
Terrific.
up.
Excellent. I will remember that offline. So just coming back, we're getting near the end here. Let's come back a little bit. And now you're 16 years. Couple of quick questions. Let's sole practitioners. It's a challenge. I mean, and as sole practitioners, small boutique firms, and that's where our company, Lawyer Locate, was created, was to help those. It was never created for the big firms. It was just that wasn't our goal, or it wasn't Natalie Waddell's goal. So let's try. What would be your three key pieces of advice to a sole practitioner coming out today?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm in a position to give advice. Good IT, uh, good IT. Yeah. Research the systems, before you launch your CRM and your all the different moving parts electronically that you need. I would say, like, do the research and find suitable, compatible systems. So what would we call that? Invest in your digital workspace. Okay, that's number one. Number two, it's kind of okay. The rule in improv is yes and. When you're asked something, or when something's put in front of you, don't say no. Say yes and. That's not to say don't take on practices of law that you're uncomfortable with. But if it's a situation you may not feel totally comfortable with, for example, being interviewed on a podcast or whatever, yes and. Just say yes. Just do it. Try the new thing. You don't know where it can lead and the opportunities it can present. That's my second piece of advice. I need three. Three. What would the third be? Join Lawyer Locate.
Oh, unabashed.
How's that?
So yeah, thank you so much. And you know what? I was going to, because you must have anticipated. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. You've been with Lawyer Locate for a while, and I'd really love to hear your honest thoughts about what your experience has been as a member of LawyerLocate.ca.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I am curious about what you said about SEO going out the window, because I do feel like my presence has been elevated through being associated with Lawyer Locate, and people calling for work, not for work, people calling for a lawyer who have found me through the platform. It's been very helpful. Yes, so the content pieces that you've done have been very helpful. The information that you provide, just helping me through the way. I think for people starting out, yeah, it's a great asset to be able to piggyback off of your back, the hard work that you've done in the online world. So yeah, it's been very good. I have nothing but good to say.
Terrific, thank you. And Jordana, if somebody is looking to get some help with estate law, we'll certainly have all your information below. But if you want to tell people how they can get a hold of you if they need some help.
Absolutely. My website, celavilaw.ca. I can be reached by email, phone. There's a contact page on my website to book a free consultation. And also on Lawyer Locate, there should be a link to my website. And when you call, you get me. You'll always get me. So give me a call.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much, Jordana. This has been a real joy for me. And I hope all my audience enjoys it. This is pretty much a wrap for today. And everybody, please like and subscribe if you want to know what's going on when our next episodes are coming up. We do enjoy your comments. Please let us know what you think of the show, good, bad, or indifferent. What you think of me, good, bad, or indifferent. I got a thick skin, so you're not going to upset me. We'll be able to let you know in about 2 weeks who our guests are for the next show coming up in February. Until then, I hope everybody takes care, has a great day, and it's a real pleasure being able to speak to you all. Bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of the LegalTube podcast. Ready to take your legal marketing to the next level? Our show delivers expert insights and practical advice to help you succeed in today's competitive legal landscape. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this podcast is for you. For more information, check out LawyerLocate.ca. And if you have any questions, get in touch with us. Thanks for listening.